Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we'll take you to the first annual Purple Olympic Awards luncheon. The city of Shelbyville received some state grant money to help improve their 231 North Business Park. Dan Markham will talk about the role of microcraft in the 1969 lunar landing. And Tom Corrington will continue his discussion with John Carver, director of Tullahoma City Schools, about personalized teaching. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Chevrolet GMC in Winchester. Select Silverados will receive supplier pricing and $6,500 in rebates. Only at Russell Barnett Chevrolet GMC on the bypass in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. The first annual Purple Olympics Award Luncheon was held last Thursday at George Dickel Distillery. The fundraiser generated $20,000 to help fund local support for individuals and families who are living with the effects of Alzheimer's and other memory-related illnesses. PED Productions is proud to have been a sponsor of that event, and our own Andrew Todd was there to participate in the festivities, speak with area coordinator Fran Gray, and to compare socks.
And thank you for partnering with Alzheimer's Tennessee to make Alzheimer's a memory. The Purple Olympics, the first of its kind anywhere, included participants from Coffee, Franklin, Lincoln counties. If there are other counties we fail to note, please let me know. And we are grateful for our support staff who came from Knox and Davidson counties. This year, our first year, we had more than 100 participants from this area as we came together for a special day for an even more special reason, to honor those we love and help support our community in the face of this Alzheimer's epidemic that only seems to touch more people every day.
Well, we are celebrating the first annual Purple Olympics today, and I'm with Fran Gray. And Fran, what a wonderful outcome we've had today, right?
Yes, I am just so overwhelmed with our friendships we've made here. We've had a great turnout, 60 people celebrating Purple Olympics and what's to come next year. Hey, and I'm telling everybody now, March 7th, 2020 will be our second Purple Olympics at THS Gym. So start getting your teams together now and think purple and orange for Alzheimer's Tennessee.
Mark those calendars, folks. That's right. You'll be here before we know it.
That's right.
And you were speaking earlier about goals you were wanting to make financially and all that, and you did make those goals.
We did.
And I know that just makes you so happy with all the sponsors and the people who gave.
Oh, it is very gratifying. And I tell you, with this Alzheimer's and other dementias hitting epidemic numbers, we need all the monies we can get to support the families who are affected, and so we can put money into research and hopefully before much longer find a prevention and a cure.
And make Alzheimer's a memory.
That's right. That's our goal, to make Alzheimer's
right.
a memory. So we invite people to avail themselves of our services. We are at 207 North Jackson, serving Tullahoma area and all of South Central Tennessee. Our number is 931-434-2348. So if anybody needs to come and get information on resources, or just they just needed someone to talk with, they're most welcome to come and see us.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Fran, thanks for talking
Thank
with us.
you,
And thank you for
Andrew.
all of the work that you do. You're the one who brings this all together, and we thank you so much.
Well,
Fran.
it takes a village. It takes all of us, and thank you for your support.
That's right.
Thank you, Tullahoma, and everyone around. Thank you so much.
All right, get us a shot of our socks now. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee and Department of Economic and Community Development Commissioner Bob Rolfe announced recently that 9 communities will collectively receive more than $1.3 million in site development grant funding. The Site Development Grant Program is part of the Rural Economic Opportunity Act, supported by the Tennessee General Assembly for the last 3 years. The grants are designed to help communities achieve Select Tennessee site certification and prepare industrial sites for economic development projects. The funding helps communities invest in infrastructure and engineering improvements on project-ready sites. The City of Shelbyville received $133,000 to be used for clearing, fence removal, and access drive construction at 231 North Business Park.
Stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment with more news later on the 6th.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. Tom Corkin spoke recently with John Carver, Director of Tullahoma City Schools. In this segment, Mr. Carver continues the discussion about personalized teaching.
We're talking today with John Carver, who is the Director of Tullahoma City School System. And he's got some considerably different vision and ideas for what teaching or learning is all about. And so we're trying to get a little bit of an insight into how this is going to work, and we'll be visiting this for several years, I'm sure. Another buzzword I remember hearing, I call it a buzzword because I'm not sure what it means, that was called that the kids need to be able to demonstrate what they can do.
Yes, sir.
That sounds more physical than mental.
Well,
what does that mean?
Well, and again, I mentioned to you in the last segment, we're building and flying the plane at the same time. And that, there are innovative things happening and innovative thinking occurring across the United States. And so, we have to get out of our silo of Tullahoma. We want to maintain the things that have been great, been part of our reputation in the past, the strong math program. But in order to get to all children, we need, what we've been doing is going out into the world and seeing what's happening in other places. And then looking at those ideas and then bringing them back here. And so...
Well, you need to elaborate a little bit on that, I think. Yeah, you've been sending...
Teams of teachers.
You spent a lot of money on travel in the last few months.
But to back up a second, the federal government provides us with funding for professional development training. So the money hasn't come out of any of the local coffers. The money for us to do this has been part of our allocation of federal and state funds for professional development. So it's not costing our taxpayers anything to go do this, all right? So we have sent folks to go out into the world and see what's going on. So we have been to Collierville, Tennessee. We've been to Arlington, Tennessee, 2 districts over in the Memphis area who, again, are Tennessee school districts that are thinking outside the box. And We sent a team of teachers, administrators, a school board member went, a couple of school board members went to see what is going on there, to find out what their secret sauce is, and to bring it back and have it be part of our thinking. We had 2 teams go to Harrisburg, South Dakota, to see how they've restructured their elementary schools. And again, board members, Amy Johnson going one time and board member Gigi Robinson going on the second time, so they could also see how it looks different. We had a team of administrators and teachers, went to Iowa and Nebraska, and I think in 3 days we were in 7 different school districts, looking to see how they are educating children, and elementary, middle school, and high school. And we saw some pretty cool things. To educate all kids also means how are we providing services for special education students? And we sent a team of folks to Maryland, and we also sent another team of students or team of teachers out to Washington State to see. We're going all over to see what are the best practices, and we're not going to try and take somebody else's program and make us fit into it. What we want to do is we want to go out and see the best of the best, the emerging thinking, and bring it back to Tullahoma, and then design something that's going to fit us here. This last summer, I think you were at our school board meeting last Monday night. The teachers are on fire. I mean, I am so impressed with their desire to learn. Susan Fanning, who's our Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment this past summer, she facilitated 60 professional development learning opportunities with teachers who had Tullahoma teachers that had investigated emerging practices, and so 60 opportunities, hundreds of Tullahoma teachers going through and learning new strategies. And teachers learn best from teachers. And so what we're trying to do is create this ecosystem of innovation and creativity as far as education goes. And then that ecosystem then spread from the school through the community. And again, we want Tullahoma to become an incubator for startup companies. Mayor Curley has talked about his upcoming year, the theme being entrepreneurialism. Well, that's going to begin at the school. But we're going to need time to get into that. And for a lot of folks, I guess I give the invitation to come visit the schools and see what's going on.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. In a presentation to the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen at its July 22nd meeting, several groups spoke about the city's involvement in the 1969 lunar landing. In this segment, Dan Markham talks about the role of Microcraft in this historic event.
Everyone here, of course, knows and appreciates Fran and Dan Markham. They are philanthropists, owners of former owners of Microcraft, and just great citizens of Tullahoma. So Microcraft also has a really neat role. So let me ask Fran or Dan or both to come and share with us an anecdote or two about your role in the lunar landing.
Lane, thank you. Mayor, thank you for allowing us to come forward. I think it was not just one of the 6 greatest events of the last century, but perhaps since the coming of Christ, maybe one of the biggest things that man has ever done, and will be recognized in eons ahead as one of the great steps that we took. As I said, it was a small step for man. It was a great leap for mankind. The most interesting story I first say about Microcraft is about Charlie Folk. Charlie Folk was the founder, but an interesting thing happened, I think it was about 1945, 1946. He was a member of an aviation club, a model club. There were about 15 of them, and they built models, the kinds of models that you would crank with a rubber band and a propeller and put it in a hangar, and they would compete those. And these model airplanes would stay up in the air for 45 minutes, the propeller going around very, very slowly. So they knew about aerodynamics, they knew about models, and they all got a letter one day from then the head of NASA announcing that if they would show up at Langley Field in Hampton, Virginia at a certain date, that NASA would hire them all. And I've never heard of anything since then that was ever done in such a bulk form. And the reason they did that is they said, we can find people who can be machinists, but we'd have a hard time finding people who really understand aerodynamics from a craftsman perspective. And we can make machinists out of aerodynamics easier than we can make aerodynamics out of machinists. And all of those guys went to work at NASA Langley in the model shop at Langley. They learned about force measuring gauges. They learned about how everything went on in wind tunnel testing. And from there, one came to AEDC, Charlie Folk. Another one went to NASA Johnson Space Center, Pudgy Parmenter. It's really Frank Parmenter, but we call him Uncle Pudgy. And the same thing happened. One went to NASA Lewis, one went to NASA Ames, and they all became sort of the craftsmen du jour of those respective sites. And they knew each other, they trusted everybody among themselves, and as a result, one of the things we did in building the Mercury program and the Apollo program that we don't necessarily do today is there was trust in other people. You knew if you were going to put a man on the moon, you had to be honest about what you did. You had to be trustworthy about what you did. And we saw such a great partnership in all those things that went on to get us there. Having said that, as far as what I think Charlie Folk did, his greatest accomplishment is, if you ever knew Evelyn Folk, Fran's mother, he impregnated her. And as a result, Fran was born. So that was by far and away, as far as I'm concerned, as far as he's concerned, today if he were living, he would say that was his greatest accomplishment. And so there we went from, when the company was formed in 1958 till 1968 when he was killed in a glider accident, tragically. And then from 1968 to 1971, it was run by Mrs. Folk. And it was, being a woman in a male-dominated aerospace industry was in itself quite unusual. So then, Fran and I came back in 1971. So it's tough for me and for us to talk about the Apollo 11 program because we were still living in Savannah, Georgia. But there was a lot of other Apollo launches that took place shortly thereafter. The Apollo 11, when the man stepped on the moon, was very meaningful to us, but all of the Apollo program was. And we did something that not many people knew about at the time, and not many people know about it today. We built many of the hardware, not just the models that were tested at AEDC, but we built flight hardware that was either used on the moon or helped get to the moon, and subsequently have flown to every geoterrestrial body that man's ever traveled to. The major claim that we make is one of the flagpoles that was made. When you unfurl a flag, in this case you actually unfurled the pole itself. Cylindrical device. To make it is not that phenomenal and not that grandeur, but the fact that it had to be done right, the fact that it had to be done correctly, and it had to happen at the right time, at the right place, is an accomplishment. As I understand it, some of our machinists actually carved their initials inside the tube that was not part of the inspection program. So there, to think about making something that went to the moon, that resides on the moon, is extremely, and still there, is extremely meaningful. Not just that they did it, but ever the support that the country had about a mission of accomplishing that. As a unit, we did that. And so those guys did that, and that flagpole's still up there. It's we say it's ours, we now say it's yours, but we built it, and that's a major accomplishment.
More news later on 6 is coming up in a moment.
The wait is finally over. The all-new redesigned Ford Ranger is back at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma. Stop and test drive one today at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma on Highway 55, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. Taylor and Jacob from the Tullahoma Animal Shelter dropped by our studios recently and brought along July's Dog of the Month.
We have the Dog of the Month with us today, and I have Taylor and Jacob here to introduce her to you. So how old is K-Girl?
Yes, she's 2 years old. She is a purebred Feist.
A red...
a Feist.
Feist.
Yes.
I haven't heard of a red Feist. She's got beautiful ears. Look how straight they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had her how long?
About a week and a half.
Oh, just a week and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she got scared in the 4th of July noise?
No, we got her before that, and she has puppies. And we have the puppies being fostered out on July 20th. Her puppies will be available for adoption at PetSmart.
July 20th. When you say you have them adopted out, different families take the animals? Is that
They're
it?
fostering them for us. They're holding on to them so they're not at the shelter and they're in a home environment and getting used to being in a home.
But she's a beautiful dog.
She is.
She's a little thin right now, maybe. But I wondered would somebody have dropped a dog that was having puppies? How could
she
somebody
got turned
do that?
into us. They just didn't
she
wanna
was
deal
turned
with
in?
it. Yeah.
Okay, well that's better than dropping them off somewhere.
Right. Every third Saturday of the month, we have a dog trainer, Nancy Lawrence, who's going to come down to the shelter.
Oh, you have a dog trainer?
Yeah, and she's going to do questions and answers.
What days will that be?
The third Saturday of the month. Every third Saturday.
Every third Saturday. At what time?
From 10 to 11.
Does she want people to sign up to call you and sign up for that?
No,
or you
she's just going to
come?
give advice on like potty training and behavioral issues.
I've never had a dog that seemed to be a problem. They seem to be smart.
It's hard. Puppies are really hard.
Puppies are hard, I guess. I guess I got them when they were older. But what are some of the techniques they use?
What I do with my dogs when I get them is crate train them, where you put them in that crate when they go to bed, and then if they go outside and go to the bathroom and make a big deal out of it and give them a treat.
And you put them back in the... you give them a treat.
Yeah.
And then you put them back in the crate, or you let them run loose for
I
a
let them
while?
run around after they went to the bathroom.
I'm so excited. We have how long's a new animal shelter been up? But I know it's so much better.
A month now. It's beautiful.
And it's so nice that you all have a good facility for these sweet animals.
And they actually have, they're in the AC and in the summer. And then
they're air conditioned.
And then really good heat in the winter. They're going to be really
happy. That's
happy.
marvelous. And people need to remember about how to treat their own animals in their home or in their yard. In this horrible heat, make sure they have a shelter.
Yeah,
Besides,
the big
right?
thing with this heat is don't take your dog to Kroger and go inside for an hour and leave him in the car. Just leave him at home.
You know, it's tragic. It's not just children die in cars, but dogs and cats die in cars. And I don't know how anybody can do that in the first place.
A lot of people do. They just don't think it's a big deal.
They don't think it's a big deal. It is
if it's
a huge
80
deal.
degrees outside, it can get to 115 degrees within a half
I
an
saw
hour.
some lady on TV talking about that, and she said that just to check it. It was after this child was found dead. She put a thermometer in her car and she went into a place and she timed it. It was 30 minutes, it was 140 degrees. K-Girl is for adoption. She's a sweet, sweet thing, got a sweet face, and her puppies are ready to be adopted in July. So everybody go to the animal shelter if you got something to give away, like clothes, and not clothes, but blankets and towels and stuff.
And don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include representatives of South Jackson Goes Country, who will highlight some of the changes happening this year, and we'll also hear what you can do to help the Veterans Memorial in Caboose Park in Tullahoma. All that and more on this week's Living.
And stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford in Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford Taurus, yours today for $26,992. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
An annual event started in 1939 will continue when the World Grand Championship celebration will once again be held in Shelbyville, Tennessee at the Celebration Arena. Each year, people come from all over the world to contend for the coveted honor of being crowned World Grand Champion. From the wonderful flat shod to the exciting performance horse, they will fill the ring with the breed's best of the best. The celebration supports local charities, and this year they are asking everyone to come out and support the largest nonprofit event in Middle Tennessee and the charities that depend on this event to fund their cause. Come out and be a part of a family tradition by showing your support for the annual Walking Horse National Celebration. For ticket and box seat information, call 931-684-5915.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history of this day. Our record high was in 1952 at 101 degrees. The record low was in 1965 at 55 degrees. The record low, rather the average high on this day is 88, and the average low is 67. Partly cloudy weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 65. Partly cloudy weather continuing in the forecast for the next for on Wednesday and Thursday, with a high on Wednesday expected of 86 and a low of 65, and a high on Thursday of 87 and a low of 65. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.